Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Good evening, Mech Warriors. Oop, a little bit of echo. So it's the end of Season 1 of Solaris. Personally, I ended up 36th. I ended up in the top 100 in all 7 divisions, but not the top 25 in any of them. I was at 26th in Division 3 and 23rd in Division 2, but I ended up blowing it and losing some games that I shouldn't have lost. So Division 6 was kind of my most heartbreaking division, just because I'd gotten so close to the top 25 and then fallen back several times. Look at that. I had like 260 games. It's a lot of games. But I just kept losing to, players that didn't have any rank, which again brings me to ELO. It's horrible. It's just horrible. You can be playing a good player and then lose 30 points in one match, and then you can, against the same player, if you win, you might win 4 points. It really has nothing to do with. It just has nothing to do with the skill level or the mech or anything whatsoever of your opponent. It's completely win-loss, which doesn't take into account your ability to make builds. It doesn't take into account your skill level either. So ELO is just horrible. It takes a lot of fun out of the game. It also makes it so that once you get a high ELO, you don't want to play anymore, because one loss and you lose all your ELO. In Division 6, I kept playing someone who had a 2,000 ELO, and my ELO was like, at the time, 1,800 about. And he kept winning barely. Like one time I overheated, and I would lose 5 points, so I liked to fight him because I knew I'd beat him eventually. And I would have won like 20, 30 points, and I wasn't risking 20, 30 points. I was only risking 5 points, which I could easily make up by playing any random person. So ELO just doesn't make much sense. I can't say how much I just don't think it's the right way to do this. So, anyway, Solaris seems to be pretty successful in the end if they can get rid of ELO, so players will continue to play. Right now, probably top 10 players didn't play this last week. Maybe, no, I saw Murata Kell. I saw Blue Splint last week. He probably played this week. I don't know, but a lot of players don't play. Data plays, but I just don't think a lot of the top players play much because they don't have much incentive to play. If they lose a lot. If they win nothing. I did play a lot of games against low-ranked opponents that gave me 0 points. So I'm sure if, my average score obviously is 1845 according to the leaderboard. That's high enough that if I lose a lot, but it doesn't put me in the top of anything. So anyway, overall though, I think Solaris is fun. I would definitely say play Division 4, 5, 6, where there's not so much. Division 4 has a lot of Jaeger mechs, but it's not ruled by Jaeger mechs. There's a lot of ways to counter the Jaeger mechs. So those 3 divisions they're not dominated. Division 1 is dominated by Annihilators, Division 2 and 3 by King Crabs completely. Division 7 is pretty open also. So if you want to have fun in Solaris, I would say go to Division 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7. That's my advice there. So I'm going to move on from Solaris. Again, my rankings are to the point that if I lose, it's not worth it. I might as well just stay in the top 100 and not bother to try to fight for the top 25, because if I lose a couple bad games, I might have a mech that's not even in the top 100. For instance, this guy. This little hunchback's pretty much a terror in Division 6, but sometimes, you know, I'll play a player and they'll just destroy it in a couple of shots, and I don't know, you know, sometimes they get a good shot in, but it's not, you know, it's not quite good enough to like dominate, but it's a good mech, and it does pretty well, but I'm not confident in it. Division 4, I actually played around it a lot, and the Jaeger mech with the 6 AC2s is the standard mech in Division 4. I have one that's a little different that I like. Also, the Zeus in Division 4 can be used effectively. Just put a little speed on it so it can chase down lights or small mechs. That's my only advice. Put some speed on your Zeus. You know, we know Zeus's take a lot of damage because of their shoulder profiles, but it's a fun mech. Another mech that's kind of a sleeper is the Top Dog Thunderbolt. If you're just playing for fun, you probably have Thunderbolts. You can play Thunderbolts pretty effectively in Division 4. All right, Bushwhackers. If you like Bushwhackers, but everybody knows if you see a Bushwhacker, shoot its legs out. But if you can, you know, if you're up against Jaeger mechs, you can find maps where you have a good approach, where you get up close and then overwhelm them with SRM spam. And, you know, I'm an SRM guy. Crabs, 3 and 2. I'm a good assault pilot, so all the assaults I ended up in the top 50 about. But there's no break for the top 50, so. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick play, just for fun.